Admin used to eat my entire Monday, not part of it, all of it. And I'd come in Monday morning with every intention of doing something meaningful, either working on the business, connecting with participants, building something. And by the time I looked up at the clock, it was 3 p.m. and I'd spent the whole day doing admin. I'm talking about progress notes, timesheet checks, chasing staff about shift changes, all the compliance paperwork, invoicing prep, all of it manually. It was all me. Hey everyone, Camille DG here, veteran nurse and COO of SpecereShift Group, and someone who's spent years doing this. Every single one of those tasks by hand before I figured this out. One afternoon, I sat down and I handed 5 of those tasks to AI, and I haven't done any of them manually ever since. You know what? In this video, I'm going to walk you through all 5, what they were, how long they were taking me, and exactly what AI does instead. So by the end of this, you're going to know precisely which tasks you can hand off and what your week could actually look like without them. So before I get into the 5 tasks, I want to make one thing clear. This isn't about doing admin faster. I'm not going to show you a shortcut or productivity hack like what everyone else does. That's not what changed for me. What changed was that I actually stopped doing these tasks at all. There's a difference between doing something more efficiently and not having to do it at all. And when I talk about AI handling admin, I mean the second one. These tasks don't land on my plate anymore. They're handled completely. So that's the shift. And it changes your week in a way that working faster never does. All right, these 5 tasks, let's go. Task 1, I'm talking progress notes. If you've got support workers delivering shifts, you know this problem. Every shift, every participant, every worker. Progress notes need to be written. It's not optional. It's called NDIS compliance. And it should be done. Accurate, detailed progress notes. They matter for participants and they matter for the audits. But here's the reality of how it actually goes. Your support worker finishes a shift. They're so tired. They've got another shift in 2 hours. Writing a detailed progress note is the last thing on their mind. So you get notes that say shift went well, or you get nothing at all. And then it's usually you or another admin person has to chase them up, remind them, follow up, and sometimes just to write the notes. And you just end up writing the notes yourself based on what you can piece together. I've done it and I know that you secretly have too. But here's what AI does instead. The moment a shift is completed, AI drafts the progress note automatically, pulling apart the shift data, the participant support data, and the activities that are recorded. Not a generic note, a real structured note with the relevant details. Your worker then reviews it, confirms it. If it's accurate, proves it. And what's that? Maybe 30 seconds instead of 15 minutes chasing and then rewriting. So across a whole organization with multiple shifts per day, that's hours back every single week. Task 2, timesheet reviews. Now this one's sneaky because it doesn't feel like a big job until you actually track how long it takes. And here's the old way. Every pay period, someone has to sit down and they have to go through the timesheets. They have to cross-reference the clock-in times against the scheduled shift, checking that the hours match the award rates, flagging anything that looks off. Then someone's got to chase the workers for corrections, processing it all before payroll cutoff. In a small team, that might be an hour. As a medium-sized provider with 20 or 30 staff, you're looking at half a day easy. And it has to happen every single time without fail. What AI does instead is it removes that checking, not because the checking stops. The checking still happens, but AI does it automatically in real time as each shift closes. So it then cross-references the clock in, the scheduled time, the award rate, and flags anything that doesn't match. By the time you get to payroll, the exceptions have already been surfaced. You're not reviewing everything. You're reviewing the 3 things that need human decision. And that's the shift from reviewing everything to reviewing exceptions only. Now, task 3, and honestly, this one might be the one that resonates with you the most. Shift change communications. I'm talking about when a staff member calls in sick. Now, the clock starts. We know this. You've got a shift that needs covering. You've got a participant that's waiting on you. Maybe a support coordinator as well, and family. And you've got to make it happen while managing everything else. So you start calling everyone. You start texting everybody. You go through the mental list of who might be available. You leave the voicemails. You wait for people to respond. Meanwhile, the participant's family, they're still ringing. The participant support coordinator, they're ringing you too. And you're still on hold waiting for someone to pick up. I know because I've been there. When you finally find a replacement, you update the roster, you notify the participant, you notify the family, you let the original worker know, and only then can you get back to whatever the hell it was that you were doing. That's 1 sick call, 1 hour gone. Minimum, you guys. I know because I've been there. Here's what AI does instead. This is where all the changes happen. The system identifies available workers automatically, not just who's free, but who's compliant to work for that participant, who actually knows the participant, who it makes sense geographically. It then sends the notification and confirmation. It then updates the roster and notifies the participant, all without you touching it. Crazy, right? So you get a notification that the shift is covered. That's it. That's your involvement in all of this. Think about what it actually means on a week where you've got 3 sick calls. That used to be 3 hours of your time. Now it's 3 notifications. Now, task 4, compliance documentation. So this one isn't just a time problem, it's a massive stress problem because, NDIS compliance is not just about doing the work, it's about being able to prove that you guys actually did the work. And that proof has to be consistent, detailed, and audit ready at all times. Now, the old way is a constant low-level anxiety. You know the documentation exists somewhere. You know that it was mostly done. But if an auditor walks in tomorrow, you'd spend the next day piecing it together, finding the gaps and hoping nothing critical was missed. And here's how AI changes this. Rather than compliance documentation being a separate task that someone else has to remember to do, it's generated automatically from your operational data. I'm talking every shift, every support that's delivered, every worker action. It creates a digital trail as it happens, not a summary written afterwards. It's live and real time recorded. So when audit time comes, and it will come, you don't have to piece anything together anymore. You're opening a system that's been building your compliance record continuously every time. It's time-stamped and consistent. It's not just less work. That's a completely different relationship with compliance, from dreading it to not even have to think. You don't even have to think about it anymore. Task 5 is invoicing prep. Now, every NDIS provider knows this pain. Oh my God, before you can submit a claim, someone has to compile the support hours, participant by participant, shift by shift, funding category by funding category, making sure the hours match what was delivered, making sure the rates are right, making sure nothing gets missed and nothing gets claimed that shouldn't be, unless you're a dodgy bugger. Now, it's meticulous work and it has to be. And it takes time every single claiming cycle. Now, what AI does is it generates the claim-ready summary automatically as shifts are completed. By the time you're ready to submit, The compilation is already done, not by someone sitting down and manually pulling it together, but by the system that's been tracking delivery in real time. You got to then review it, you approve it, you submit. What used to take a few hours of really careful manual laborsome work is now a review of something that's already been prepared for you. So let's add that up. Progress notes, timesheet review, shift change communications, compliance documentation, invoicing prep, 5 tasks. And before I handed them to AI, those 5 tasks were eating somewhere between 8 to 12 hours, maybe more per week. So here's what I want you to hear. That's not just time. That's what was actually standing between me and running my business and growing my business. Because those 8 to 12 hours, maybe more, well, they weren't available for any strategy. They weren't available for growing my participant numbers, developing my team, or building something sustainable. They were gone before the week even started. And when they stopped being mine to carry, something just changed. Not just how I spent my time, but how my team felt, how the business felt. The providers who get to stage 4 are the ones who are genuinely running. They're the ones that are genuinely running lean, genuinely growing, and genuinely working on the business instead of working in it. And they have one thing in common. They stop doing tasks that AI can handle. That's not laziness. That's leverage, you guys. Now, here's the thing I want to say before I go. Every single one of those 5 tasks I just walk you guys through, progress notes, timesheet review, shift change comms, the compliance documentation, the invoicing prep. So all 5 are actually built in SpecereShift, not as features you have to figure out and configure yourself, as things that are just handled from day one with us helping you set up alongside you. And if you're watching this and you recognized yourself in any of those 5, if you're the one sitting there on a Monday chasing progress notes, reviewing these freaking timesheets, managing sick calls by text, I genuinely want to show you what life is like without all that stress. So copy the link in the description, paste it in your browser, and see if you and your team qualify for our free 14-day trial. We provide full human support. You might even get me on the call. And I'm not just going to show you the software. I'm going to show you what handling or handing these 5 things off actually look like for your specific business, for your participants, because you didn't get into this work to spend your Mondays doing admin. Drop a comment below. Which of these 5 tasks are eating the most of your time right now? I read every single comment, no fluff, no BS, no time wasting, just real answers every single time. Till the next video, you guys, take care.